I'd like to kick things off this week with this little news item that confirms, once again, Matt Christman, our own prophet of doom, needs to be more responsible with his powers. I'm speaking, of course, about news that President Trump suggested multiple times to senior Homeland Security and national security officials that they explore using nuclear bombs to stop hurricanes from hitting the United States, according to sources who have heard the president's private remarks and been briefed on a National Security Council memorandum that recorded those comments. Matt, would you like to take responsibility for why you made this happen?
Well, and the funny thing is every single time this happens, I do not remember it.
First of all, yeah, not his fault. He's more like the Oracle of Delphi. It's just like he has a bunch of Diet Cokes, then maybe like half a tab of acid, and then it just comes to him. It's involuntary.
Regular
He's
Cokes,
He's drugged up and controlled by like a cadre of priests.
Oh, that's right. You were the one
i.e. me.
the one adult human being in Brooklyn that still drinks regular Coke.
That's right. That's why I'm going to be dead soon.
Matt.
Thank God. No, somebody had to point this out. I don't know how they found it. I don't know how this happened, but some random hero online said, hey, LOL, look at this after that story came out. And it was from August 25th, 1917, 2 years to the day from when this story was released, where I tweeted, no matter what the squawking libs in the media say, launching a nukes at Hurricane Harvey is an hashtag alpha move. Thank you, President Trump, hashtag MAGA. And I had, of course, just tweeted that and then totally forgot about it. And somebody reminded me of it. And people are like, oh my God, your powers are too great. But people need to realize I'm not making these things happen. I am merely closing my eyes, opening my third eye, and then asking, what is the stupidest thing that could happen? And I just, because Hurricane Harvey was coming, it was headed towards Houston, and I thought, Donald Trump's president, he is the stupidest man on earth. What would the stupidest man on earth, who is also president of the United States, do about a hurricane? And I remember stories from a different hurricane when it was going to hit Florida about local public health officials having to tell people don't shoot at it.
Right.
And I just thought, well,
you can't shoot all your problems.
Exactly. But what would be the U.S. president version of shooting a hurricane? Launching a nuke at it. So I just surmised, well, he would think that. And it turns out, yes, that's exactly what he thought. Because he is the dumbest man on earth. And all you got to do is just get into that mind space. Just go out of your brain and remove all of your critical thinking skills, all of your knowledge of anything, and just become like a star child. And just imagine you're the horniest, angriest, stupidest star child with unlimited power. What would you do? And then you end up predicting, not making, predicting what's going to happen.
So this is a Jonathan Swan in Axios. It says here, asked how the briefer reacted, the source recalled he said something to the effect of, "Sir, we'll look into that." Trump also raised the idea in another conversation with a senior administration official. A 2017 NSC memo describes that second conversation in which Trump asked whether the administration should bomb hurricanes to stop them from hitting the homeland. A source briefed on the NSC memo said it did not contain the word nuclear. It just said the president was talking about bombing hurricanes.
So conventional. A Patriot missile battery into the eye of the storm.
See, that is more reasonable because if it doesn't work, nothing is all right. We tried. Whereas if the nuke doesn't work, then you just have a radioactive hurricane. Which seems like it's got to be the worst possible thing that could happen to your town.
Yeah, that's a sci-fi original movie.
Yeah.
Atomic hurricane.
Yeah.
What I love about the "Sir, we'll look into it" line is "we'll look into it" is also the thing Trump says when he has no idea what you're talking about. And so it makes me imagine a White House that is just this constant circular motion of looking into it. It's like the Malkovich scene where they can only talk in Malkoviches. It's just people constantly opening doors being like, "We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
We'll look into it.
We'll look into it.
Sir, we're looking into it." It's just everyone bluffing either their unwillingness to go along with your insane scheme or their total non-knowledge of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Either way, the only response is, we'll look into it. We're looking into it. We're looking into it very strongly.
And good for him, though, because the "sir" is what's the only thing he's looking for. Just the "sir."
That's true. He just wants someone to call him sir.
Yeah.
You could probably just get away with nodding and saying, "That's a great idea, sir," and then never following up on anything, and it would never need to go anywhere.
Which I assume is like 90% of how
Yeah.
his team.
Oh my!
deals with
When it comes out after he's done, and people are like hawking books, the
Can't
number of
wait.
things that he will have suggested that people just said we'll talk about that, and then they just never followed up on, and he forgot, is going to be astounding. Like, let's do Jurassic Park. Why haven't we done that? We'd make so much tax money. Let's charge people to see the dinosaurs.
Which is what they're doing in Noam or Noam.
The Saudi
Yeah.
The Saudi city of tomorrow.
I'm surprised that he didn't hear about that story and go, "Why can't we get a Jurassic Park?"
I mean, I would
He
like
probably did. I'm telling you.
I would like to get on the record. I think I've said this on the show before. I am pro doing Jurassic Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, we can make it happen. We can make it safe. We can make it affordable. We can make it quality.
We can make the cute ones, which is the most important thing. We want a plesiosaur. We want a cute little brontosaurus.
But the dangerous ones too. I mean,
I don't
That's
really
just
care.
you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
If you create raptors,
No,
you know
I
what's
want
going to happen.
the great
No.
bovine lizard cows that
no,
you
Matt,
can pet.
you got this right. You said the lesson of Jurassic Park is not don't clone dinosaurs. It's
Pay Dennis Nedry.
yeah, exactly.
The guy programmed your entire fucking park from one, like a fucking, an Apple II? And you're going to be a skinflint? Pay the man what he's owed.
Yeah.
Then your park's going to be fine.
Another eccentric Scottish billionaire ruining the world through contracting practices. I like, though, in Axios, because it is news for smart people, they always include the big picture section, which sort of like, let's zoom out. And it just says here, Trump didn't invent this idea. The notion that detonating a nuclear bomb over the eye of a hurricane could be used to counteract convection currents dates to the Eisenhower era when it was floated by a government scientist. I like that government scientist, Dr. Strangelove.
But that was also like right after they invented it, where they were like, "Maybe we could use these things to dig."
No.
Everyone keeps trying to defend bad ideas with like, hey, people thought that this was a good idea 60 years ago. Like, that's not a defense. That means we decided against it.
No, but there was shortly, in the 50s, right after we developed the bomb, and we're like, well, what can this thing do? Well, we can't
What else
really,
can we use the bomb for?
Right, because we realized very quickly, especially after the Soviets got it, we can never really use this because that would end all life on Earth. So we're just going to use it as a deterrent. Is there anything we could use peacefully? Is there peacetime use for these cool weapons?
We can use it to relocate island populations in the South Pacific.
Yeah, but there was a whole field of crackpot science of what I think there was talk about using them to like as like a fast way to like level brush and stuff.
Yeah.
Like farming, you could just nuke someplace and then clear the land, and you
The
wouldn't need to like send people in there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
For serious.
You'll clear the land for the next 50,000 years.
Yeah.
It's great.
I remember being in DC once at the Smithsonian and seeing some kind of like talk, or like it's basically when they do like their equivalent of the Waterworld Extreme Stunt Ride at Hollywood Studios, but for Smithsonian Science, and they had this scientist come out and he was talking about in the 50s. Oh, he was old as shit, and he was talking about in the 50s. He was working at like Los Alamos or something at an applied nuclear physics lab, and he was like, "Yeah, we had this high-powered on-point radiation generator, and during our lunch breaks, we would just take that sucker outside and put it in a trash can and throw some hot dogs in the bottom and heat them up for lunch." And I was thinking, like, that sounds like a terrible idea. And then he was like, "And that's how we got the microwave." And it's just like them being like, "What else can we do with radiation? Hot dogs? Great. Now that's a consumer product."
It's true. You guys are everyone thinking too small. It's pathetic. But my favorite quotes from that Axios article, because they asked a bunch of people, and apparently none of them could deny it because he actually did say it. But the spin was so good. This one guy says, a senior administration official had been briefed on the president's bombing suggestion, defended Trump's idea, and said it was no cause for alarm. His goal, to keep a catastrophic hurricane from hitting the mainland, is not bad. His objective is not bad. So he was trying.
What they say about the road to things being great and fine and okay being paved with good intentions.
It's true.
And
Like
nuclear
Lenny,
warheads.
you don't understand. Lenny just really thought she was pretty. Lenny thought her hair was really shiny, and he just wanted to pet it. Okay, we need to remember that.
It was soft like a rabbit.
And then this other person says, when people near the president do is they say, "I love the president who asks questions like that, who's willing to ask tough questions." It takes strong people to respond to him in the right way when stuff like this comes up. For me, alarm bells weren't going off when I heard about it because But I did feel somebody is going to use this to feed into the crazy the president is crazy narrative. I just love the
How
idea of like,
cynical.
look, he's asking the big questions. Okay,
Now, this is like like business mindset books. So they're just like successful executives just create a space for like no idea is too out of the box.
Yeah.
So let's just have a rap session. Just throw it out there. Throw some ideas out there.
Or it sounds like a preschool or kindergarten teacher in a parent teacher conference trying to level with the parent that their kid has ADHD in the gentlest way, being like, well, let's start off and say he's got a very inquisitive mind.
So
when he put the class hamster in the blender, he said he wanted to see what it looked like.
he was just
curious.
Curious.
It says here the myth has been so persistent that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration published an online fact sheet under the heading Tropical Cyclone Myths page, which states, apart from the fact that this might not even alter the storm, this approach neglects the problem that the released radioactive fallout would fairly quickly move with the trade winds to affect land areas and cause devastating environmental problems. Needless to say, this is not a good idea. I mean, yeah, that is the problem with nuclear weapons, essentially.
Really, it's also the problem with hurricanes. They don't hold still. If we could just get them to hold still, it would be fine.
We're going to build a wall around the hurricane.
Yeah.
Folks.
You know what? He's so into walls.
Yeah.
Why isn't he going that direction?
God, could you imagine if they did that and then like it not only did it not affect the path of the hurricane, it just made it like a Category 5 radiation storm that made landfall and just carved a swath of like totally like Chernobyl, uninhabitable for 10,000 years. Gotta kill all the dogs. Sorry.
No, that wouldn't happen if they were conventional nukes. I don't think it would be that long, but you might get some mutants out of it. That'd be cool.
We're still gonna have to kill the dogs, folks.
Yeah.
Sea mutants. We're
You know-
gonna create the Murr race.